I was once told a long time ago by a good man. He once said to me that those who come to Islam are in a way better than those who are born Muslims. I always used to wonder why, and then I eventually one day got round to asking him. And he said to me, because those who are raised as Muslims, you're born, you already know Islam, you don't know anything else except for Islam. But those who come to Islam, they come with a special feeling of love towards Islam, towards Tawheed, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I'm not going to make this a long preamble or anything like that. So, inshallah, we're going to get straight to it, so we can, inshallah, advance this talk. You may have noticed that there's papers on your seats. These are for questions, inshallah. So after the talk, there's going to be a 5-minute recess while the brother Hafsa goes through your questions, and inshallah he'll select the very best of them. So make sure you keep them on topic, please. Jazakumullah khair. And I'm going to now hand over to you, inshallah, to brother Hafsa Abdulmalik Clare. Jazakumullah khair.
I never sit and do lecture. Sitting is for, oh man, this is, yeah, we're going to have to work with the mic. I don't know, maybe it's an Irish mic or something. Party French. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. See, you guys did it right the first time. See, usually places have to give the salam like twice. But this is Exeter, isn't it? That's a cool name for a place. Oh, wow. Sounds like a sword. Like one of the knights of the old days would come with his favorite sword, Exeter. Right? It's like the Death Star Wars. But if you're from London, you wouldn't say it like that. You'd say Exeter. There's like a Hamza on the end. We missed the T. In London, we missed the T's and H's. Ifra Airport and Exeter. So alhamdulillah, it's great to be here in Exeter. It sounds cool. Doesn't it sound nice when you tell it? Pretty good. It's like, wow, inshallah, this is a big, big deal. Well, it is a big deal, right? This is a big deal, right? Yes. You guys know. Should I just sit? MashaAllah, you guys need to wake up. This is not your average speech. Slightly below average. I'm not your typical Muslim speaker that's going to get up and tell you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and say down. Those days, as far as I'm concerned, for me at least, are long over. At least in a speech like this, because my life is kind of different. There are much more important people that we could research, like the Umar Khattabs of the world and the Hamza Abdulmalik and people like that, Khalid Walid. But this is my story. I was born in Canada, eastern part of Canada, in a province called Newfoundland. You guys know what that province? It's part of England until 1949. I'm surprised you forgot it so fast. They were part of England until they were the last province to actually join Canada. It's very cold there until about May. It's about minus 20, 25, minus 30. Snows quite a bit. There's icebergs in the ocean in summertime. And that's where I was born. Sorry, born there. Born without my eyesight. Alhamdulillah. And that's the term that was used in my house. I was never called a blind person in my house. And I'll get to that as the story progresses, but that's how I was born in that province. And when I was 5 years old, I went to Nova Scotia. That's a western province, and it's part of the mainland of Canada. Still slightly cold there, minus 20, minus 25, same thing. Snows until May. But that was the place that had a school for blind people, like me. People couldn't see. They had students there. So my mom sold everything that she had, and she took us to that place. Now you have to understand that your mom is someone who generally will do anything for you, is that right? Anything. Your mom. Probably even more than your dad, because even Muhammad said that the people that deserve your attention the most is your mom 3 times and your dad 4 times. And I'm going to add to that, of course, and be this mic after that. Alright? Alhamdulillah. Allah, can you fix that? Is that possible? Yeah. It's like busted. Exeter, there we go. So, that's too much.
Do we even need the mic?
Yeah, I need the mic, bro. This is serious. People back there can't hear. Alright, let's keep going. So, anyway, that's where I was raised up, was in Nova Scotia. I would go to school from Sunday night until Thursday night, or Friday night, I'm sorry. And then my mom would come and bring me home on weekends. She would take the bus, public transportation, and come and get me, right? And we're Irish people, from an Irish descent background. So we don't eat biryani. We eat potatoes, right? Every day. Every day. Like, it's not like every other day. Morning, noon, and night, there's some version of potato in our house. I didn't know that you could do that many things with potatoes. You guys just know chips, right? Chips. Well, there's about 17 or 18 more things that you can do. And my mom knows all of them. I think she invented a few herself. But she'd make me carry the big, huge bag of potatoes, 10 kilos, 15 kilos, right? I was only about 5 and I'm carrying these potatoes. Now that's important to her because she was raising a man. And her whole philosophy, if you could call it that, was we are supposed to spoil the girls while we brutalize the boys. Well, we're tough with the boys. The Muslims kind of the opposite, isn't it? Sisters agree with that, right? They kind of spoil the boys and they make the girls work real hard. So the average 16-year-old Muslim girl could probably take care of the whole house. Probably. If she has to, isn't that right? Whereas the average 30-year-old Muslim man, well, he knows how to work the Xbox. That's about it. That's as far as that goes. He could hook up the DVD player and, he knows the art of Warcraft and madness. But ask him to boil an egg and you'll probably go hungry. My mom taught me how to do that stuff when I was a little kid. I was boiling eggs at 4. I had a step stool, so it was too short as a kid. And I would cook at 4. And that was her way of raising me up as a man. She raised me that way. I was an only child, and usually people would think that people that are only child are spoiled. Well, I was blamed for everything in my house. It couldn't have been no one else's fault except my fault. I get blamed for stuff now. I went to Kenya in 2007, and they had a riot. A big, huge riot that went across the country, presidential election, violence and stuff. I get home and my mom calls me and she goes, "What did you say to those people? They're peaceful until you get there. What did you say to them to disturb them? I know you're talking all your religion and stuff. What did you say to make those people fight?" I got blamed for the riots. I got blamed for floods in Australia. Everywhere you go, things happen. Alhamdulillah, that's not the case. But that's my mom. She's very tough. I wanted to move out of my house when I was 7. I knew everything. I told my mom in the morning, I said, "Listen, I'm leaving tonight. I'm moving out, that's it. I'm a man now. I can boil my own eggs. I can do anything I want." So I came home from school and my stuff was packed. Outside. Like suitcases, my clothes were packed. Can you imagine? You walk in and it's your stuff outside out front. So I walked in and she's like, you're leaving today, right? Well, your stuff is outside. You want it? So I went outside. She goes, "Wait a minute, I made a mistake." I thought, that's close. She goes, "That's my stuff. I bought that." She took it all back in. All my stuff, she took it back in and closed the door, locked. I was outside. And I'm 7, so she left me outside for like a half an hour. 7 or 8, something like that. Half an hour to a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old is like a big deal. You're trying to find windows that are open, trying to get into, trying to climb up to the side of the house and get into your bedroom window, right? I knocked my cousin's door, they weren't opening it for me. So after about 45 minutes, my mom opens the door and she goes, "You're still here?" I said, "Why haven't you left yet? I'm going to call the police. You're trespassing on my house. Why are you here?" "Can I come back?" I was like crying by then. I was upset. She let me back in. But that was my mom. She's very tough. Very, very tough. Nowadays, you'd never get that, right? Nowadays, if you ever did that, to a kid, you'd be on charges or something. They put you on Dr. Phil or Oprah or something. Abusive. Like, see, basic auntie on Oprah. I told my son to leave the house. He wanted to move, so I told him to get out. You know? He'd be arrested on charges, but my Irish mom wasn't like that. We go visit my grandmother in the summertime. My grandmother was just tough. Like, my grandmother taught my mom how to be tough. You know, this issue with Bashar al-Assad in Syria would have taken my grandmother about half an hour. Just having her moved with an Irish accent, even though she was born in Canada, right? Hear it in my head. Bashar? What classic name is that for a person to have anyway? You're far from an Assad, although you're the first part of that name. So, you got it, right? He got it, doesn't have a degree in warfare, so get it serious. But that's my grandmother. She was very, very, you know. I asked her one day, I said, why are you easy with my cousins and you're difficult with me? I said, because everything that you do in this life, you're going to have to be better than everybody else. Because in case you forgot, you can't see very well. So she was tough with me because she said, if the world is easy for me and she's tough with me, then I'll be grateful. And if she's tough with me and the world is difficult, then I'll be prepared. So she was very, very strict with me, only for some reason. And my aunts would try to talk some sense into her and say, you know, you can't see. You know? I said, and if he keeps behaving that way, he won't be able to walk either. We'll add a wheelchair to his disability. You know, she didn't care. She wasn't this, Habibi, you're blind. Like, you know, this baby thing, we never did that in my house. So it should be no surprise to anyone early on in my life, at the age of 8, that I wanted to be a wrestler. So I was running from people for a long time. So I was 4 or 5. My uncles, my grandmother, my mom. And so everything was kind of like that. So I already had a little bit of training, defensive training when I was a kid. So I walked into my wrestling coach's office and I put my arm like that. No bicep, nothing. It's very skinny. Skinny kid, like, not slim. Slim is alright. Skinny, I was skinny. Like, if I went to Somalia, I would have got fed first. Right? They would have fed me before anybody else. Feed the white guys. Gonna die in a minute. When I took off, when I wrestled, my grandma used to say, well, just don't take your shirt off, because every dog in the neighborhood is going to see those bones. Going to come running. That's how we encourage each other in our households. It's not dysfunctional. We put the fun in dysfunctional. So I walked into my wrestling coach's office. I want to wrestle. I want to be a wrestler now, today. Like that. No bicep. He goes, get out. So he kicked me out. Said, come back in the year if you want. So I went out and I ate all the different kinds of potatoes my mom cooked. I thought I was going to get bigger. Gained half a kilo in a year. Half a kilo is nothing. It's not even, is it a pound? Something like that. It's not very much either. So I came back in and same thing. I said, Coach, I want to wrestle. Let me wrestle. Tried to fill me out again. But that day I wouldn't give up and I stayed there and he let me wrestle a much bigger boy, which wasn't very difficult. Could have found shadow in the music. And that boy beat me up real bad, like he won. Very decisively. I might add. You have to, in English you can't say he beat me badly. He said he was victorious in a decisive manner. Right? So I go home and I want like the Arabic mom. You know the Arabic mom? Habibi, why are you wrestling? Why? What is your problem? They are bigger than you. Why are you wrestling? Come, we'll make signs and she'll put henna. Would have done a protest. We'll make wrestling banned. Would have been Facebooked. Ban wrestling at my son's school. Please click like. Jazakallah khair. That's the Arabic mom. What they see mom like, Beta? What is your problem? Why are you wrestling? They'll they'll kill you, they'll hurt you. She was cooked for me, right? Aloo parathas. Gotta have potato, right? Aloo gosh. Would have been huge. Too big to wrestle after that. But I have an Irish went to me and she goes, "What's wrong with you? What's your problem?" I said, "I wrestled today and I lost. I beat up real bad." He was victorious in a decisive manner. So she looked at me and she said, "Well, it's wrestling, it's not ballet. That's their job to be sure. And it looks like he did a very good job. So I'm going to call the coach. Did coach take the wrestle, by the way?" I said, "No." I said, "Did I take the wrestle?" I said, "No." I said, "I know coach did because he called me and he told me that you wanted to wrestle. And I told him to let you. In fact, I chose the boy that you fought today." So I'm going to call him and congratulate him because at least he won. Unlike someone else that I know. Her way of, because she didn't want me to wrestle, she really didn't. So that was her way of kind of discouraging me from doing it. You know, let him wrestle, he gets beat up, and he stops. Well, I wrestled until on and off for about 20 years. So that didn't work. So the next day I was wrestling again and I lost. I lost for about 2 years. Every day. I'd walk in, get beat up, leave. Every day. But I started to learn quite a bit over that time. Time went by, I actually started to win. I remember the time that I won was at a different school and I heard the crowd and the attention that I got when I won. And I decided at 12 that I wanted to be a pro. That this is what I wanted to do with my life. Some people want to be engineers, doctors, right, Muslims? It's one or the other for us, right? Unless you're this brother, you get degrees in more. MashaAllah. He stepped out of the group. Right? No humanities studies, just doctors or engineers. But at 12, I knew what I wanted to be. And I used to laugh, right? Teachers would ask me, "What do you want?" "I want to be a wrestler." And they'd laugh. So I was a very skinny kid. But that's it, that's what I wanted to be. And I became very, what's the word? Obnoxious as a kid. I was very confident. So that's the thing. It's not, I was arrogant, confident. I used to always like to be the center of attention when I was a kid. As a wrestler. Like everybody had to watch me. Even if I lost. It didn't matter. So time goes by and I'm winning a lot now. I'm about 16 and I'm winning a lot. And I went home. I used to go home from the after parties and meeting people and all that stuff. And I would ask myself, is that all? Like, is this all that we're here for? I mean, I'm pretty good at wrestling, but that can't be why I'm here. There has to be a much bigger purpose than that, because I wasn't really like, one of the things that my coach used to tell me was the worst thing in life is to have $1 million body and a 10-cent brain. Because you can't be a dumb wrestler. Because, what are you going to do if you get hurt? You can't read. So I used to read quite a bit, and I used to like to read about cultures and different things of that nature. Found a book, and see, again, I always believed in a creator. I thought that atheists were mad. I still think they're mad. But even then, I didn't know how to articulate it, but I thought, something wrong with the people who would tell me, again, I'm very arrogant here, so, who would tell me that I came from monkeys. And I look far too good to be descended from a monkey. That's my wrestling mentality right there. You can be from monkeys if you like. I remember telling my teacher like that. Science teacher was like, "We are descended from the gorillas. You can be descended from a gorilla if you want. I'm far too pretty to be from any monkey." Because I was very arrogant. But, sometimes it's not really arrogance. It's the izzah that Allah gave the human being. I mean, not to say that we're better than anyone else, but I mean, monkeys? Are you serious? Really? Have you seen monkeys? What they do? And how come there are still monkeys? Like, who decides who moves forward and becomes a man? How is that decided? Okay, you, monkey. Man, you guys, right here, you're a man. Who'll say your word right, brother? Who decided that, right? Who was the one who decided, who stays a chimp and who becomes a guy? So anyway, that didn't make sense to me at all. I thought it was ridiculous. Now the Christians, I like that. I kind of was one to a degree. Not really. I wasn't really practicing anything, but my friends were Christians, and they would all go and they would play guitars and sing stuff, and they believed in God. I had issues with them too, because could never fathom God being a man. Like a man by nature is imperfect, isn't it? He has to come from someone. And if you don't believe that, ask your mom. He has to come from someone else. Except for Adam, of course. Adam was created. But all of us, including Eve, his wife, had to come from someone else. And a man, he needs things. He needs to eat. He needs to nourish himself. He needs to relieve himself. Eventually, he will grow, and eventually he will die. So I didn't like this concept of God being a man. And I thought also, if God is a man, then what color of a man is he? Because we have Desi people, right, brothers? Mm-hmm. Right? Do the head thing. Do the head thing. I can't do it right. We have Irish people. Very, 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 very white. Extremely see-through white. Some of us. It's like, mashallah. We have people who are from Africa, who are the complete polar opposite, at least color-wise. So, if God is white, this is what's going on in my head at 15. I used to think a lot at 16. If God is white, then if I'm not white, let's say for example you walk into a church in Ireland and you see a white picture of Jesus, and you're not white, you're black, let's say, you would look at him and you would think, I'm never going to become that. Never. And if you're an Irish person and you walk into a church in Kenya and you see a black picture of Jesus, it's the same deal. You would look at that and go, he's black, so that makes him superior to me because that's what God looks like. I had a problem with that. Mentally. And not to mention it was unfair because why is it that they get to see God and I don't? I was born without my eyesight, right? So I wouldn't even measure up even close to that. Because they're looking at him and I've been cheated. According to that theory, I don't get to see him. So I respected the Christians, but I didn't agree with them. I read a book during that summer. It was the autobiography of Malcolm X. Malcolm X, rahimahullah, changed the whole way I looked at things. The way he addressed the crowd. Like he would be able to get up and address hundreds of people, thousands of people for an hour. And they would listen to him, be captivated by his words. He didn't have to show off like a pro wrestler and hit people with chairs and do all the stuff that we do. That I used to do. Alhamdulillah. A much safer job now. So my only opponent these days is the EDL. But they missed every single one of my talks, man. Like I crisscrossed the whole country. They're not even. Maybe because I speak English and not chicken. That's why they don't come. But I wish they would come. Are they here? EDL! Not here? Should I? Does anyone speak chicken in here? I don't know. But that was my thing. Malcolm X didn't need to show off. He didn't need to act crazy. He could just captivate the whole audience just by his words. And I was fascinated by that. This is after his pilgrimage, by the way, because he had some distorted views before that, and alhamdulillah, he was guided away from it. But this Islam is not named after a person, a place, or a thing. Is that right? Like it's not called Muhammadanism, is it? Some people may decide to try to call it that, but it's not called that. Every other faith that you could think of was named after that, after a person, a place, or a thing. Hinduism is from Hindustan, right? Buddhism is from Buddha. Christianity is named after Christ. Although that was a derogatory term for them when Christianity was first founded, people didn't accept that. The early followers of Jesus who were Muslims despised that term. It was a derogatory term for them, kind of like they would call us Mohammedans today. So they didn't like that, but that's what it became. Judaism is from the tribe of Judah, or the place of Judea, the valley of Judea. So there are every other, and Satanism, you all know who that's named after, right? So every other faith is named after a person, a place, or a thing, except for Islam. The peaceful and willful submission of the creation to the creator. Now Malcolm X also talked about the one who the Muslims worship, called him Allah. And Allah, according to Malcolm X, was one. Allah is one, unique in his oneness and not like his creation, incomparable to his creation. Now that also makes sense to me, because why would God have to be a man to understand men? If he created them in the first place, he wouldn't do anything that would take him out of being God. Because one of my friends told me, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. In order for the elephant to understand the ant, the elephant has to become the ant. That was his theory, that, well, in order for God to understand men, he has to become a man. And I'm thinking, well, what if he created the elephant and the ant in the first place? Who knows better than him about his creation? Irrational, illogical, just absurd. Anyway, so Malcolm talked about Allah being one and unique in his oneness, and that he sent prophets and messengers, alayhim salatu wasalam, peace be upon them all. And these prophets were sent to show us how to behave towards each other, and to show us how to worship, which also made sense to me, because why would God just leave us here to figure it out? Just drop me here. Boom! Drop me. India or North America or England. Exeter. Just drop me here and leave you here. Alright? Figure it out. That doesn't make any sense, because he would send you someone, he would send you a revelation, and he would send you a human example of that revelation. That's his rules. Do this, don't do that. Do this because it's good for you, don't do that because it's bad for you. I'm going to paraphrase, it's a lot deeper than that, but still, that would be sensible. So God's existence made sense to me. His oneness made sense to me. Revelation and prophethood made perfect sense to me, and I wanted to become Muslim. After reading Malcolm X, I had a problem with it. Do y'all know what the problem was? Can you guess? Exeter. What was it called?
No Muslims.
That's absolutely right, bro. If there was a prize, you'd get the prize. There isn't a prize, though. But because actually many people get that wrong. Many people say, oh, your mom stopped you. Which isn't true, because my mom was very encouraging of that. Oh, your family stopped you. Which also isn't true. Oh, your friends stopped you. My friends thought I became Muslim even before I did. I would walk into school and I'd be quoting Malcolm X to them, and they, eventually they just said, what's going on, Farrakhan? They call me, Farrakhan, the leader of the nation of Islam, because they didn't know about Islam either, so they would just call me Farrakhan, even though I was a little bit too white to be him, but still. But the brother was right, no Muslims at all. Malcolm X would talk about Arabs, right? Went to Mecca. So I would look for the Arabs. I'm not being racist, I need you guys to understand that. I didn't know where to look. Didn't know of any mosques, there was no publicity, there was no flyers, there was no dawah that I had access to. So I knew where the Arabs were though. Kebab houses, right? They have that stuff with the pipes, the bubbling thing, the pipes, and like that. Watching football or CNN all day. Drinking coffee that would stop an elephant, right? Very strong, mashallah. I love it, by the way. So I walked in and I would ask them, are you Muslim? Get out of here. Why do you want to know that? Maybe thought I was like MI5 or something, CIA or something. So that would kick me out, no problem. Mashallah. And he also mentioned Desi people, right? Pakistani people, Indian people. And again, not trying to make fun of anyone. I just knew what I knew from what I witnessed in my community. I knew that Indian people, they drove taxis, right? Taxi drivers, cabs. See, also, I didn't know that there were Arab Christians. That's another thing I should tell you. I did not know that there were Arab Christians. I thought all Arabs were Muslims. Because, Malcolm X didn't talk about Arab Christians, he only talked about Mecca. So I would look for cab drivers, right? I didn't know that the majority of Indians are Hindus. Didn't know anything at all about that. I would ask them if they're Muslim, they just drive away. That'd be it. So I didn't, I struck out with the Arabs, struck out with the Indians. So I just waited. Time goes by and it's 1996 now. 1996 was an incredible year. My wrestling that year had a perfect record. Perfect. 29 straight victories that year. I beat up atheists. No, I wrestled atheists. I'm Muslim, I can't say I beat up anyone. I wrestled with atheists. I made atheists say, oh my God, that year. Right? My arm doesn't bend anymore. It's evolve. Just evolve. You can make it bend. Or you can tap it, one or the other. So we tapped out. Beat him. Wrestle Christians. They don't turn their cheek, by the way, when the bell rings. They fight just like anybody else. Don't believe that. We are peaceful. We turn the other cheek. This one did not turn the other cheek at all. He almost won. But tapped out. But I also got accepted into, I got a job that year. See, my mom, I told you about my mom being tough with me. When I was 18, my mom came to me on my 18th birthday. And she said, congratulations, you're 18. You're a man now. I said, yeah. Man now. Even you don't stand like that no more yet. You're the king. I said, alright, Mr. Man, rent is due first of the month. I became a little boy real quick. Wait a minute, rent? You're my mom. She says, yes, I am. And as of the first of the month, I'm your landlord too. And she was serious. She came, first of the month, just like this. Right? First of the month, right here. She charged me $100 a month to live in her house. Can you imagine? Brother, what would you do if your mom charged you $100 a month to live in her house? What would you do? No, you wouldn't. You get a job. If you duck and run, you're homeless. You're going to go pay someone else, right? So I went ahead and, alhamdulillah, that's called responsibility, though. See, again, my mom didn't want to raise a big boy. Because she used to tell me, I want my daughter-in-law to marry me yet. So she would say, what has she ever done to me that I should let her marry me? My daughter-in-law is not going to marry an idiot. It's called thinking ahead. SubhanAllah. So that was the way she was. Responsibility was always important. Accountability was crucial in my house. Accountability, even when I wrestled, it was my fault that I got beat up. It was my fault. Why? Because I wrestled. If I didn't wrestle, I wouldn't have got beat up, right? Right. You also wouldn't have been hearing this story. A very, very different story. But still, she would always make me accept responsibility. It was never anyone else's fault. Oh, he shouldn't have fought someone so big. Oh, the coach should have trained him. Oh, the school system is bad. Oh, the society is horrible. My mom was never into that. My mom, that was a load of craziness. Can't say bad words in this. This is Exeter. But that was my mom. It was never anyone else's fault except your fault. What could you have done differently? And she's still like that today. This happened. What could you have done differently? And you think back and you'd be like, yeah, you're kind of right. Even Muhammad said that in the hadith. Let's see, Allah said it actually. Let the one who finds good praise Allah. And let the one who finds other than that blame no one but himself. Slash herself. Right? She wants. That's how she was. So at 18 I had to pay rent. So in 96 I got a job at a computer camp in the summertime with people who couldn't see. In Toronto, you guys know Toronto? Yeah. Big city, right? It's all the money is in Canada anyway. Where the airport is, so you can fly out, come here. Alhamdulillah, big city, and I was ready. Got on the airplane, I was very, very confident / arrogant. I was like, making a big production of getting on the airplane, and I was talking to all the people, and dancing in the aisles, and flipping out. It was wrestling after all. Wrestling, see, that kind of thing in wrestling is encouraged. In football, it's not, right? It's a glorious day, we're going to have a wonderful game, and people are going to be very cooperative. Unless you're in Manchester, then they're all crazy. But in wrestling, you can't do that. You have to make a production of everything. Everyone has to notice me. That's pro wrestling. That's how it is. So I get off the airplane and making a big production in the airport. I end up going to the orientation place where you meet everyone that you work with, all your co-workers and all your colleagues and stuff. And I met this sister, Muslim sister, Pakistani sister. And she had a different name. That was the first thing I noticed about her. What kind of name is that? I'm not used to names like that. So of course, being a shy kid, I asked her, where'd you get that name from? Can you imagine, brothers? Wow. I wasn't a Muslim yet, man. What do you want from me? So where'd you get that name from? That's not your real name, is it? Are you serious? You changed your name. You became something else and changed your name, didn't you? She doesn't know. It's my real name. So what kind of name is it then? It says Arabic. Arabic. Something went on in my head. Like a light, you can say that, went on in my head. And I thought, she's Pakistani. There's no taxi. Arab. There's no kebab house. She can't kick me out of anything because we both work in the same place. Let's see what's going to happen. I said, are you Muslim? She goes, yeah. And I said, I want to be Muslim too. She took about 5 steps back from me. Don't ever do that to the sisters, but the dads kill you. Don't do that. Because I was like 3 inches away from her. Because I wasn't letting her go. That's a Muslim. I found her finally. It's like catching a rabbit. She's not getting away. Kidnap me a Muslim if I have to, but I'm going to become Muslim and that's it. So she said, what do you know about Islam? I said, absolutely nothing. Nothing. I just know the Muslims worship one God. There's no sons, no daughters, no fathers, no mothers. I know that and that's enough. Said prophets and all that stuff, and I don't know anything else. But whatever that rest of the stuff is, I'll learn it as I go. But I want to be Muslim right now. Just take it easy. Calm down. Everyone tells me to calm down. Everywhere I go, calm down. Even now. Except for airport security, man. I'm real calm in front of them.
What brings you to the UK?
I want to go see Exeter. There's no gas in airport security, ever. Ever. You walk real slow, you smile a lot. That's what you do in airport security. So she's telling me to calm down. She goes, I'm going to go home and I'm going to get a book. I said, no, you're not. You're not getting a book. You're not getting a book. Listen, I want to become Muslim now. Whatever magic words you have to say, just say it. Sprinkle the Muslim dust on my head. Because, I'm Irish, so we have holy water. So I thought maybe it's the same. Just go and take some water and just put it on my head and say, okay, you're a Muslim. He says, no, listen. You need to understand certain things, and I need to know that you understand them. Just do it for me. Just listen to the book for me. To make sure that I know that you know certain things. And I agreed, reluctantly, but I followed her around the whole day. Don't forget that book. Don't come. If you don't bring that book tomorrow, don't show up. I couldn't tell her that. It wasn't her boss. We get accused of forcing people to convert, don't we? Muslims do that. We get accused of that. What happens when you're forcing your way into Islam? Because that's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to force my way in. I had this sister and I wasn't letting go. And I didn't know where the brothers were, so I'm just stalking this sister for the whole day. I was Muslim right now. So the next day comes, she has her book, alhamdulillah. And we sit in like the cafeteria, kind of public kind of area, and she starts reading the book. She talks about the Muslims believing in one God, his name is Allah, and she's going on, and I'm completely ignoring everything else. She's talking, yes, Allah, Allah. Do you understand that? Yeah. One God, no statues, no crosses, nothing. One God. Next page. And the Muslims, they pray 5 times a day, and they face Mecca. It's just going, and I'm not listening to them. 5 times a day, I caught. After that, I don't really care. She goes, okay, you understand that? I said, yeah, I pray all day. I get it. Who needs a job? Who cares? I'll work in the kebab house. Pray all day. And the Muslims, they also pay what's called zakat. And they give the charity to the poor people. And so on and so on and so on and so on. So do you understand that? I said, yeah, give all your money to the poor. Then you become poor and get it back from them. I get it. Fair enough. Work at a kebab house so you can pray all day. It's no worries. So I'm just letting her go. And the reason for that is I just want her to finish. Just finish. Just finish. Let's get to the end. You know, that's how my mentality was. Because the little that I knew about Islam affected me so much that I couldn't not become Muslim. I was always a very principle-oriented person. I still am. I'm very principle-oriented in that if I read something and I believe in it, I'm not going to just respect it. I'm going to become that. I've never done it with anything else. I've only done that with Islam. So I'm letting her finish because she asked me to let her finish. Not because I wanted to. If I had my way, I would have become Muslim the day before. So she finishes the book. She goes, did you understand that? I say, yeah. Can I become Muslim now? Are we done? Seriously, are we done? Finished? She goes, alright. And she took, I repeated the Shahada after. It was July 2nd or 3rd. I'm not really sure of the exact day. 1996. I'm glad I don't know the exact day. Because I probably would have made a celebration out of it. It would have been called like Milad of Hafsa or something. So it was the second or the third. Alhamdulillah, Allah, bear witness that there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. And before they bear witness that Muhammad is the last final messenger. So I'm listening to her, and I met her dad and stuff, alhamdulillah. And time goes by and I have to go now, I have to leave. Because my job is over, 3 weeks, I had 3 weeks to turn. So I'm in the airplane. Now I'm not showing off anymore. I got on the airplane real quiet. Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be the only Muslim in the place. There is not going to be any other Muslims in my province. And Nova Scotia is a big province. It's a little bit smaller than this country. To drive across the province would take about 8 hours in total. So I think England is bigger than it, but not by a whole lot. It's a pretty big place. At least in my head, at the time it was. I think the whole country has the population of England, so you have much more people than us. But we have a huge landmass. The second largest country in the world is Canada, after the Soviet Union. So we get in, or Russia, it's not Soviet Union. It's not 1985. I don't want them to hear that. It's Russia now. Anyway, so I'm on the airplane and I'm thinking, this is it. I don't know what's going to happen. What am I going to do with these people? I'm going to have to build my own mosque. I'm going to have to kill my own animals. And forget about getting married. Who's going to marry a Muslim? You kidnap someone. That's what they do in the movies. You don't believe that, by the way. I don't believe that. So I'm on the airplane, and did you ever think about that for a minute? What if you were the only Muslim in Exeter? What would happen? You're the only one, that's it, it's just you. I actually had that, I actually came to that, mentally I was okay with that. Because I didn't know what I would do, but I figured if Allah meant it to be that way, it would be that way. So I was okay with that, in some weird part of my head. I figured if it's that way, you can't do anything about it except, what you can do. So I'm on the airplane, getting real quiet. And everyone thinks I'm sad to leave Toronto. I'm not sad to leave Toronto. I'm just scared to go home. So I get off the airplane, I walk real slow to the baggage area, and my mom's there. So she comes to me and she gives me this big hug. Welcome home! Now she's my friend, right? Because when she was tough with me when I was a kid, but she's one of my best friends now. So she gives me this big hug and stuff. She's like, what did you do on your trip? I'm like, just guess what I did. Just guess. Just guess. Like that. She goes, when's your court date? Because she remembers the old me, making a fool out of myself and making a big production everywhere I went. A lot of noise, and a lot of racket, and a lot of flamboyancy, right? Just this crazy kid. Because when I was wrestling, the guy that I looked up to, and some of your older brothers might know this, was Ric Flair. Flair was crazy. He was just wild and yelling and showing off and all the pretty girls. Anyway, so she's used to that guy. I'm not that guy no more. I don't have a court date. She goes, when's the wedding? I'm not getting married either. He's so silly. What happened? So I said, what did you do? I said, I became a Muslim. She goes, calm down. Can we talk about this when we get home? No. Let's talk about it right here. Now there's a wisdom to that. There's a hikmah to that, right? I want to say it. Because I thought if I talked to, because I was right in the airport. There's people running, getting their baggages and stuff, and I'm right in the airport. I said, if she kills me, there'll be witnesses. And someone has to go to jail for killing the only Muslim in the province. I'm an endangered species or something, right? Like a parrot. Someone has to go to jail for killing me. So let's make it right now, at least they'll see. You know? So anyway, she calmed me down. She went home together, she cooked rice, potatoes, mashallah. She was okay, she just said to me, she said, as long as you're safe. I said, did anyone force you to become Muslim? I'm like, no. Why would they do that? I said, they didn't force me to become Muslim, and no one can force me to leave Islam. That's what I said. She goes, so you're serious about this? You believe in this? I said, yeah. What I know of it. I don't know everything about it, but what I know of it, I accept it and I believe in it. Because if I did that, if I just read about Islam, and I believed in it, and I didn't accept it, I'd be lying to myself. And I can't. I've always hated that. I've always hated lying. Even before Islam, I hated lying. I thought if I have to lie to someone, it means I'm afraid of it. I've always thought like that. If I have to lie to you, that means in some way I'm afraid of you. And that's what lying is. You're afraid of something that I can do to you, so you're going to lie to me, right? Maybe your boss, you call in sick, and you're not sick. You just want to take the day off. But if you tell him you want to take the day off, he's going to fire you, isn't it? You want a day off? Take the whole year. Wow. Already? So this became Muslim, man, in like 5 minutes. Are you serious? My goodness. If there was more sisters here, I would ask them to continue. The sisters always come and continue. Oh, I'll ask the ones that are here. Sisters, can I continue?
Good, right?
MashaAllah. You guys can't argue with the sisters. You won't be able to do this, man. So, where was I going? Oh, yeah, I've never liked lying. I always thought that lying was something cowardly. So she asked me, do you really believe in this? I said, yeah, I do. And that was her thing. Are you safe? Do you really believe in Islam? And, did you become Muslim for that girl? I said, nah, I didn't become Muslim for her. And Allah made it very clear because I didn't marry her. And if I did, it would have been always over my head. Oh yeah, I just took shahada so that he could get married. It would be on my head. So Allah didn't write it for me that I would marry that girl. Alhamdulillah. But she sent me a phone number. She sent me a bunch of things actually. One of the things that she sent me was a collection of phone numbers. And I thought, these must be wrong. They can't be no Muslim here. These places don't exist. Like how could there be an Ahmed Abdullah in Nova Scotia? It's not possible. It was one of the numbers was for the masjid. I called it, the brother answered the phone. Again, I thought like there must be some mistake really. So I came out and all of a sudden there was Muslims there. A lot of them. Arabs, Indians, Pakistanis, Africans. And I'm thinking to myself, where were all these people? How did they just come here? Like how did that happen? Were they always here? telling me, I've been in Canada for 10 years. And I'm like, really? This mission's been in Canada since the 80s. I'm like, 80s? This is like not far from my house. Not really far. I mean, it's not exactly in my neighborhood, but it's not far. So I found all these people that were playing hide and seek. Can you imagine? I could have been Muslim 4 years before. But Allah writes when you enter Islam. I mean, you can't say I would have been. Maybe I would have not been. Allah knows. When you're allowed to enter, is when you enter. I don't believe that I embraced Islam. I believe that I was embraced by it. I'm far too insignificant to be able to embrace Islam. Plus, I'm not bright enough to find it on myself. Allah is the one that allowed me to enter Islam. So I changed the wording a little bit. I was actually embraced by Islam. She also sent me a cassette tape. Remember cassette tapes? Cassette tapes, right? That was the 1990s. It's 96. We didn't have iPods. The only place that apples were found was in pie. Now they're everywhere, fortunately for us. So, mashallah, she sends me this cassette tape copy of the Qur'an. It's in Arabic and English. So I put the first cassette tape in my player and I heard أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. I was amazed by that because I never heard a book recited before. And of course the English went on and you know, in the surah, I don't have time to translate because the brother had said I had 5 minutes left. So, but the whole book went on like that. 114 surahs. I listened to every single cassette. And it went on like recited like that, in that tone of voice, in that way of reciting. And the more, and you need to listen to what I'm about to say. Because the more I listened, the more irritated I got. Now, not at the kitab, not at the Qur'an. I was irritated because I thought, how is it fair that this is kept from us? Like seriously, how is that fair? How is that equal? How is that allowed to happen? That people would come, and I love immigration. I think immigration, there'd be no Canada without immigration. Like all Canadians are from somewhere else, isn't it? So it's silly for a Canadian to be anti-immigration. It's stupid. Because none of them are actually from there. The First Nations even came from somewhere else. Long ago, no one was hatched in Canada. If we all came from Adam, then we all came from somewhere else. We didn't come from Canada originally. Anyway, so I'm all for immigration, but I thought, how is it fair that people can come to our country, set up things, businesses, have a nice life, alhamdulillah, wonderful, fabulous, no worries. But the best gift that they could give us is on their bookshelves. I mean, we like kebabs, but Jannah is far more important, isn't it? I mean, kebabs are nice, right? You have all the different ones, and the funny shapes, and all that. But Jannah is far more important. And that is what the people have kept from us. Out of, I don't know, shyness, whatever reason it is. See, if you haven't, even if the people refuse, like let's say for example, you're talking to the non-Muslims in Exeter and they all refuse. Is that good or bad? It's good. What do you mean? They have the right to refuse. And you're off the hook. No worries. But you are productive in the community. So at at least they know you. Do you know who actually, with this whole EDL thing, I want to talk about them a little bit, because I mentioned them earlier. Let's turn it a little bit. Let's do this. Let's pretend that you're living in your country. That this is your country. England is yours. MashaAllah. You're living here with your wife, your husband, your kids. You're going to work every day. You know, doing your thing. And these people move in your neighborhood. And number one, they don't talk to you. They talk a completely different language than you. They don't interact with you, except when they want to sell you something. Come on. Or pilau. I have to be fair. They don't interact with you. The women sometimes talk to you, but not really. They talk their own language. They only deal with the people that are from their community. They set up things like places of worship. I won't say this because, places of worship, schools. And on the news, every time you turn the news on, you see people who look like them in a problem. Because the news is feeding you this crap. And it's nonsense. But that's all you know. That's all you know. People who look like your neighbors are blowing things up. True or not true, it doesn't matter because that's all you see. How would you feel about those people? Honestly. Angry, right? You wouldn't go, I have an open mind. Of course you wouldn't do that because it's you. You would think that these people, according to the news, you know when a lie becomes true? When there's nothing to counter it. Hitler used to talk about the Jewish people like that. He said, we will tell them our truth until they believe it. That's what he said. And whether people deny the Holocaust or not, millions of people died because of that. No one countered it. He kept saying whatever he wanted to say, and eventually people believed it. So you have your EDL because there's no doubt. You know, I was in Florida, and they want to burn the Qur'an in Florida, is that right? Remember that? That fool that wanted to burn. I thought it was very funny. So I went to Florida, I did a Dawah workshop there. It was last year, I think. Seemed like 100 years ago, anyway. And I asked him about that. I said, what happened? You guys, the guy wanted to burn the Qur'an. So we had a protest. I said, really? He said, yeah, and more non-Muslims were there than Muslims. And I thought, why? I didn't ask him why, but I thought, why is that? So I observed these people on the weekend. They have a program to feed the homeless. They are volunteering at hospitals in their communities. They are outreaching to people. They're not only having lectures, that's fine, but they're volunteering, they're helping their neighbors. They're productive. And you know how old the president was? 22. 22. They started a Muslims Without Borders program that takes care of orphans in Mexico and all these different things. So how can people not like you when you can't stop helping them? When you're actively a member of your community and just visiting. Muslims, we have a thing where everyone wants to go back home, is that right? Yes. Next year I'm going home. Next year comes and he's still here. Next year I'm going home. 35 years later, he's dead and never went home. Kids are married, grandkids are born here, and he's still going home. We have this going home mentality, and it's really, there are airplanes leaving every day. I mean, I'm being very abrasive, and usually people that get offended are the ones that want to go home. You can't tell us to leave. I don't have to. You keep telling me you're going. Why should I have to tell you? I'm not telling you that. One brother used to tell me that I'm going. I hate this country. Blah, blah. Yeah. I said, bro, the same plane that brought you is the same one that can take you out. The airport is 20 minutes from your house. Like, seriously? If you want to go bad enough, if I hate a place, if I don't like a place, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to try to change it, improve it, or what? What's number 2? I'm leaving. That's the truth. Either I'm going to try to help the place, because no place is perfect, is that right? Nowhere is perfect. There's no perfect country in the world.
Turkey.
Turkey? Really? You can't wear hijab in university in Turkey, bro.
You can.
Now you can?
Yeah.
Well, you could always wear it here at university. Touché. See? In some countries, we have more freedom than in the Muslim countries. Try running a bar. But that's the whole point, isn't it? We have more freedom here to do those things. Not to harm people or to just, be rude to people, offend them, but try to help them. You're here. This is your place. While I'm here for the 3 weeks that I'm here, I'm actually here for 5 weeks now. This might as well be my place. I might as well just live here. This is the second time I've been here since December. SubhanAllah, I should just live here. But this is the thing, I love coming here. Because I can't say the things that I say in some other countries that claim Sharia for themselves. I can't do it. But I can come here, or Canada, or Australia, or America. Believe it or not, I've never had any problems in America, ever. Ever. SubhanAllah. I go there, and I can talk to the people about what my Prophet ﷺ said. When he went into Medina, what did he say? Spread peace, right? And feed, distribute food. Who was the majority in Medina at the time? Jews. Oh wow, but we hate them. Oh, well, that's what the media says. They hate them. Well, our Prophet didn't hate them. He never even said he hated them. He said distribute food and spread peace to them. And he was the leader then. They made him the leader of Medina, is that right? He could have just went in. Alright, you guys, with the little hats, line up. Exit, stage left, out. He didn't do that. Did he do that? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying, if I'm wrong, tell me that he killed all the Jews and I'll look it up. And if he did, I'll agree with him. He didn't. There were Christians in Medina, there weren't many, but there were Jews though, the majority. And he said, distribute food and spread peace. Salam. Now salam for us is a kalam, just a way of saying hi. It's on you. And that's it. That's where it stops. You can't be like that. And we want this country to be safe for our kids, is that right? Unless of course we go home. We want Allah to keep us safe here and to keep this place safe with us. That's what we want. So reach out to them. Is it going to hurt you? If the non-Muslims were offering you money to talk to them about Islam, would you be shy? Of course not, right? You'd be there. Alright, pay me first. Well, Allah is quite possibly offering you Jannah to talk to you. That sister who took my Shahada, she gets a reward for everything I do now. Everything I do. Not every talk. Every good thing that I do now. Every harf of the Qur'an. Every second of every day of fasting. Everything that my kids do. I have 3 daughters. One of them took Shahada from her mom, who took Shahada from me. And I have 2 that were from birth, where I've adopted the stepdaughter, and I have 2 of my own. They're all mine anyways, I don't even know why I say that. But she gets lectures for them all, and they're all learning to play now. Every talk. You can't afford not to share this, even if they say no. Let them say no, it doesn't matter. You'll still be good to them, right? Isn't it? Brother, you answer me. No, we won't. You have to. You have to be good to them. Because they're good to you. What have they done so bad to you? Let us come to their country. Safe to practice Islam here. So bad. Some universities build masajid here. Are you kidding me? You don't even have that back home. I went to one of the cities. I've been to so many places. One of the places I've been, the university actually built the mosque. They built it. So it's 100,000 pounds on the mission. We don't even do that anymore.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it takes us 10 years to raise this panel sometimes. They're building the masajid and you're not inviting them? Are you serious? What, man? Oh, anyways, that's basically my story. But just share this with people. Because there's 100 Abu Hafsas here, maybe. 100, maybe 1,000 Abdurrahim Greens running around here. Don't be shy to share. People say no, fine. Don't be afraid of no. No is the first word of your shahada. La ilaha illallah. Don't be afraid of no. You say no every day. The atheists are half right. They have the la ilaha part. They just need the illallah now. Right? And Muhammad Rasulullah. 1/3. Anyway, Exeter, you've been very quiet. Jazakumullahu khairan. That's my time apparently. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.